I recently spent 2 months of my life ranking every single plant in Plants vs Zombies, and as someone that has a life, I haven't actually used every plant in the franchise, at least before making this video. So I spent a significant amount of time googling each plant to learn more about them. This came with the usual vapid side effects that comes with frequent googling. I saw many a sunflower with large knockers and learnt plenty of the concerning overlap between the Plants vs Zombies and inflation communities, but one thing I really didn't expect to see was the amount of plants making out of each other. As I researched more and more plants, it became a bit of a minigame for me to guess what plants would be paired up together. I had jumped headfirst into the weird world of Plants vs Zombies shipping. Let me tell you what we'll be doing in this video. First of all, we'll go over what shipping is and why Plants vs Zombies has so much of it, and then we'll go over my favourite pairs that I came across. What we won't be doing in this video is making fun of the people in this subsection of our community. It's so easy to make a video like this and just put art on screen and laugh at the people that made it. It's just easy being mean in general. That's why half of YouTube at the moment is just bullying vulnerable people under the pretext of being a video essay. So enjoy the absurdity of putting vegetation into relationships, but let's not belittle anyone that enjoys this harmless hobby. Shipping, short for relationshipping, I'm not actually sure, is the act of coupling up characters from any given franchise. It mostly comes in the medium of artwork depicting said relationship, but there's all sort of ways to convey your favourite ship. Fanfics were very popular in the early internet, and online role-playing was a hotspot for shipping. Any characters can be shipped, irrespective of any limits you can possibly conceive. Characters that are single, characters that are already in canonical relationships, characters that are literally just vegetables. Shipping doesn't even need to be contained to one franchise. Some of the most popular ships cross the borders between space, time, and intellectual property. My personal favourite ship, as vanilla and predictable as always, is Mordecai and the purple pony from My Little Pony. If you really want to start rimming the danger zone of degeneracy, you can even ship real people. Nowadays this is most prevalent in Korean idol circles, but back in my day there was an entire generation of insufferable girls that wanted to see these two fucks so badly that it became outright harassment. Speaking of harassment, it cannot be overstated how serious people take these ships. Ceaseless online debates and arguments have been sparked by simple phrases like, "I don't think Kylo Ren likes boys," or "I don't know who the Onceler is." I can't recommend this video enough to get an understanding of how passionate shippers can be. It's really important to state this now before diving into the meat and potatoes of this video, that shipping has always been intimately linked with the LGBT community. I don't know how much it will come up in this video, seeing as we're talking about plants, but if you start to look at wider shipping communities, you'll see that a lot of it is really gay, for a lack of better words. A lot of people seem to get really bothered by this, which get a grip, but there's a super simple explanation as to why it's like this. When you go decades starved of representation, sometimes you just need to make your own. It's very easy as an outsider looking in to forget that media was lacking good representation for years, as we have a plethora of amazing characters these days. I'd personally take a bullet and then clean up the mess with my tongue for Guilty Gear's Bridget. But as a quick example in terms that you specifically watching this video will understand, the original Plants vs Zombies predates the first openly gay character in animated film by 3 years. The first being the Jock from Paranorman in 2012. All of this is to say once more that you really shouldn't give a hard time to anyone that's into this sort of thing, as it can mean a lot to different people for different reasons. Anyway, that's enough pretending to learn. Now we'll talk about the different ships within Plants vs Zombies. I've organised them into groups of increasing weirdness, starting with the vanilla ships. We can't start the section of vanilla ships without mentioning Pea Shooter x Sunflower, or Sun Shooter. This one really is the missionary sex of Plants vs Zombies shipping. It's also perhaps the most common ship, which is to be expected with two of the most recognisable plants in the franchise. But seriously, there is hundreds of these images. There's no grand reason as to why these two characters are shipped, they're just the two first plants you unlock in the franchise, that's kind of it. I really like this one artwork I found where the pea shooter is daydreaming about riding a scooter. That one's weirdly relatable to me. One of the oddities that inspired this video in the first place was my discovery of Red Stinger x Homing Thistle. This one doesn't have a name, so I'll be dubbing it Red Thistle. This one was really prevalent when you Google Homing Thistle, likely due to the fact that there is absolutely nothing else to talk about the shallow cattail ripoff. I really don't know what connects these two plants romantically. If I was to really stretch my imagination, Red Stinger is sort of something you can call your Todger, and Homing Thistle kinda looks like balls, except it doesn't in the slightest, and that's a terrible idea. A lot of the art portrays them in weirdly human proportions, which at first glance was really unsettling, but I do kind of like it, it's very unique. Citron x Rose makes a lot more sense than the last, both of which were newcomers to Garden Warfare 2. I like this one because it has a fun dynamic of the shapes of the plants, the short chody Citron and the taller more elegant Rose, I dig it. I just need to highlight this absolute insane piece of art here depicting these two characters locked in a vigorous makeout sesh. This picture is outrageously funny because it's just drawn so well. Like, this should have been contained to scribbles in someone's maths textbook, but it's just drawn insanely well. This ship, in my eyes, loses points for being really unrealistic. No one with a goatee has ever actually found love. Quick side note for the 1,000 people that commented this on my last video, but yes, I did miss the Citron in my ranking video. I did fully edit the section, but I must have snipped it out by accident in the final run, which is extremely frustrating. But it was placed fairly high up for the record, I think around 70-ish place. Alright, now for the getting a bit weird category. You know the part of Stone Ocean where the universe completely resets and everything is pretty much the same except for really small details like people's eyes and nose being just slightly different, and it makes the whole situation feel weird? Well, that's what Repeater X Marigold is to me. It's just the Sun Shooter, but very slightly different. But I like it more though. I think it's kind of heartwarming that even the most forgettable plant in the franchise, the Marigold, can find love. My favourite piece is this really dramatic one of them kissing under the moon. It really highlights how this video is a terrible idea. Ghost Pepper X Jack-O-Lantern makes a lot of sense. They're both fire-themed Halloween plants, and I see the connection, but this one falls into the weird section due to the suspiciously high quality of the art. Like, it's all really high quality, like almost professional. Something weird is going on here. I think PopCap might have a hand in this in some sort of rogue marketing strategy aimed to make you fall in love with these characters and then gamble on loot boxes, I guess. Regardless, this is the ship that works the best for me so far. Banana Launcher X Mistletoe might seem really random for some of the PvZ newbies out there. I learned from my ranking video that the Mistletoe is just a premium version of the Banana Launcher. I think the reason this one's so odd to me is that these are relatively new plants, especially the Mistletoe, and I just assumed that most of this was contained to like the Tumblr era of the internet. Ultimately, I do think this one works. Mistletoe does have romantic implications, and it also has the festive connotation, which is cool. Look how this is lined up nicely. I absolutely love this piece. It reminds me so much of the episode of South Park where the Asian students draw fan art of Craig and Tweek and that turns them gay. That's one of my favourite episodes. The Repeater makes his second appearance in this video, this time lusting over the Chomper. This one isn't too popular. In fact, there's only a couple of pictures out there, but I really like this one as a way to explain the existence of the Snap Pea. This one feels like the most plausible due to his existence. Now we've reached the really weird ones that I came across. I want to kick this section off with a bit of a plot twist actually. Pole Vaulting Zombie X All-Star. That's right guys, zombies deserve love too. The Pole Vaulter Zombie has been absent from the game for like over a decade, but it appears in that time he's been laying mad boy pipe. This is one of the most popular ships in terms of engagement on each post, and I think that's because most of it comes from one very good artist who's still active on Tumblr. This one strikes me as one of the weirdest ships because I just can't comprehend the idea of a pole vaulting zombie fan. He's such a critical mix of annoying but also really forgettable. Is there really any pole vaulting zombie fans out there? I guess so. This next one was the reason I made this video in the first place. Nightshade X fucking everyone. In my mind, the Nightshade is the most single boring plant in the franchise. If it wasn't free to play, this would be my least favourite plant period. In my ranking video, I gave every single plant a funny transition so that you could guess what plant's coming next. But I spent hours upon hours thinking of anything to use for the Nightshade, but he's just terminally boring. So I just kept digging for any sort of lead, and all I could find was picture after picture of this guy getting it on with other plants. Nightshade X Moonflower, Nightshade X Dusklobber, Nightshade X Shadow Pea, Nightshade X Sticky Bomb Race, Nightshade X fucking Genshin Impact characters. It just left me so baffled. Why this plot out of all the plants in the game? This is the lamest one. I tell you, this must be one charming ass pickle. Next was going to be a bunch about the Witch Hazel, but this has just spun into its own unbelievable rabbit hole, so I think I'm going to make my own video on that one. Like, that one got kinda dark. So instead, I'm gonna end this section on perhaps the weirdest shipping for them all. Hot Potato X Potato Mine. Now I know what you're thinking, dear viewer, that doesn't seem weird at all. They're both potatoes and fairly standard plants. And this ship isn't even that popular, I can literally only find 2 images of it. No, this ship is weird because it has its own wiki page, and on that wiki page is the most thought-provoking entry I think you could possibly have on the subject of shipping plants together in a stupid kids game. I'm gonna read out the entirety of this honestly amazing entry, as it closes out the video better than I ever could. The Hot Mine ship, nestled within the colourful and whimsical universe of Plants vs Zombies, is a fan-crafted romantic pairing that weaves the captivating love story between 2 lovable characters, Potato Mine and Hot Potato. What makes this ship particularly endearing is the fact that both characters share a simple yet relatable trait. They are essentially potatoes. This shared identity serves as a charming and playful foundation for fans to envision a romantic connection between these seemingly unassuming yet beloved characters. Beyond this surface level potato connection, the Hot Mine ship is a testament to the boundless creativity that resides within the fan community. Enthusiasts relish in the opportunity to breathe life into these characters, injecting them with personality, depth, and humour that transcends their tactical role in game. Through fanfiction, fan art, and imaginative storytelling, the Hotman ship provides a fertile ground for fans to explore a delightful and imaginative space where love and unity can flourish. Even within the whimsical and entertaining world of Plants vs. Zombies, fans can find room for captivating, unique narratives, underscoring their ability to uncover enchantment and storytelling potential in the most unexpected places. It is absolutely criminal that there is no source for who wrote this. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Providing a fertile ground so love can flourish? That's like a quadruple entendre. That is ridiculous. What the fuck is Shakespeare doing writing about a ship with like 2 images? It's insane. And it's also kind of the perfect message to end this video on. Plants vs. Zombies shipping is really silly, and there's so much fun to be had just going through these stupid pairings, but it really does underscore the creativity in our community. Now lastly, because I know you've all been wondering, what is Shagrot's official take on the CEO shooting? Well, to be honest, I think there's someone out there in the world right now with the name Mario that at any day could go and commit history's funniest crime. Thank you very much for watching this video. Cheers.